Alright, we're in the greenhouse. It's October 28th, and there's a big freeze coming in about 3 days, 2 to 3 days. And I'm going to start, we already have started de-leaving my trees. And I'm going to be getting them cut back. We de-leaf them all, trim them back to fit inside these boxes. Take the last of the cutting. There's one that's been completely stripped. I'm going to post a video at the end of this that will show you what happened last year when I did not do this procedure. And I know that this works because I've done it on outside trees and they survived. So we're going to do it in here this year. You cannot let 25 degrees come in with these things having leaf on them, because it'll just kill them to the ground. So like I said, at the end of this video I'm going to attach another video from last October's freeze and what that looked like. Thanks for watching. Alright, it's October 15th, and this is probably going to be the last one of these for a little while, other than maybe some pruning and covering up. This is Turka. As you can see, we've been getting some cold weather. We've had some cold nights in the greenhouse. We're going to look and see how it's affected some of these trees. This is Daloso. It's got some that's still, but I'll tell you something. You get a lot of subpar ripening. That is white Madeira #1. Things don't really ripen like they do in August. And I think it's really got a lot to do with the sunlight, because I don't have no problem getting to the heat. It's in the 60s here today, and this is the latter part of the day. It's 5 o'clock and it's still 74 degrees in here. I could shut the door and make it cooler, or keep it warmer, I mean. But this is Violet Sapor. It is still ripening figs, and they are still good. Now the skin's kind of changed. It's a little thicker, a little tougher, but it's still very delicious, very delicious. Bordeaux oak grease. Took a little bit there. It hasn't ripened, but this was a cutting from this past winter. So I just kind of got it rooted and stuck it in the ground. It done real good. This is Bordeaux oak Negra Ramada, and it's still ripening some figs. Of course, that's the white Madeira. They're still pretty tasty. All these figs have a pretty good taste this late. These are all the ones that are done. This is Calderon Blanca Negra, Hardy Chicago. You can see it's done lost all of its leaves. Barbera Branca, Orola. Man, it really split bad, but looks like we got one on here. Yeah, I don't think that looks very good. Let's see what that looks like. That is, this is Parpone. Yeah. See, they just don't quite ripen the same. They have to hang too long. Some varieties do okay, but I'll tell you what, here in a cold climate, zone 6, 7, Southern Illinois, you don't need, if you're going to try to sell figs, you need to be done. You need to do Violet Sapor, Bordeaux oak grease, Smith. Here's my Smith tree. Of course, now you can see it ain't hardly got no figs on it. It's done. That's what you want. Where now, this Cautodon nori, it still had some of its crop left it didn't finish. And I've got another variety of Cautodon nori that did finish. This is Cattati, Cautodon Cattati. It's still ripening. But, I mean, it's still got a lot of crop on it. It's not going to ripen. It's just not early enough here. Long yellow long neck is done. All these others are done. Let's see here. We'll walk back up through here. Let's see. That's the Cautodon Blanca Negra. Cautodon nori, my early variety. This is Ponta Tres. That is Montanica Ramada. You can see there's no fig left on them. LSU Tiger. Jumbo didn't fruit. Here's Chicago. This is De La Senora. Yeah, and look, it's awful late here. That's the correct way done. That was one that was late. I think that's a pretty good fig. Nero 600. Here's that Cautodon Grease. But I think it kind of wants to split with the change of weathers too, because, you know, we're getting pretty chilly at night. But you'll still get one once in a while. That no's no good. We'll throw it away. That is Black Cedar. Trying to remember what this is. Negra d'Agde. It's got a couple on it. Kind of burnt. They just don't ripen the same this time of year. They have to stay on there too long. This was supposed to be a De La Broca Knots, what that is. Jumbo didn't take it. And they're kind of splitting out a little bit because they've hung too long. Moscatel Pretos. Cautodon Blanc. LSU Scots Black. Oh, CDA, which was a rejuvenation prune. It didn't really ripen anything. It was starting to. I think next year it'll do better. Verdone from Mario. LSU, or Shia Black. JH Adriatic. Green Mitchkarenska. It's got a few. There's a nice one. I think that's good. Oh yeah. Green Mitchkarenska. It's still good. You can see some of the syrupiness in there. Oh yeah. Pretty tasty. Still. Maybe not as rich as it was when it was hot, but it's still really good. Bernardino Del Nord. Got one kind of fine now. Cave de Argenteuil. It has not liked the weather. As has. This is Super Red Hybrid. Red Shram. Got one trying to, but it's not going to be any good because it ain't got no leaves, just like this Brazilian XP. You can see there's where it's dropped figs all over the place here. LDA. Bergen Unknown. Cautodon Rajo. Cautodon Ramada. Black Celeste. Cavalieri. Still got some leaves on it. I-376. Black Mantazina. Really good fig. White Triana. LSU Gold. Malta Black. Blue Celeste. White Marseille, Calydon mutant. Still got some on it. And I have officially stopped watering. When it started frosting, I stopped. Because the colder it is, the more hardy they are. This is Yodel Bypass. Also need to get in here and do some tying down. Maltese Beauty. Another early Calydon Nori. This is Dell's Ermitons. Nothing split open. Let's see what it looks like. How ripe is it? It looks good. Smells good. Not bad. Nice Crucicatum. Alicia Negra. It didn't finish, unfortunately. Haven't yet. This is Zarfiro. I believe it's still getting some on it. It seems to do alright. Here's one that does real well. Valade Solis. Oh yeah. I'm going to open this one up just as a get a look at. Oh yeah. And the skin doesn't get real thick and tough on this when it gets cold. This is still a really tasty fig when it's cold out at night, this time of year. If I was going to grow a late season variety, commercially, or heck, even just to eat, I want something late to eat right now. That's her. You know, I'm in a greenhouse, but the cooler nights, they don't split, it don't affect the flavor, it doesn't affect the skin like it does some of the others. This is definitely would be a good high quality commercial variety. This is Dale San Juan Ron. As you can see, it's got some cold weather damage. This is my Perpone Dale San Juan Ron on Black Texas rootstock. Calydon Bordeaux Tinka. This is the last of my Ronde Bordeaux, and this is Blanche de Saison. I have to think sometimes. The Aroni de Rugal, which is real early here for me, and this is also Champagne, LSU Champagne, and that's what we got happening in the greenhouse. What's getting ripe, this is pretty much the end of it, the last hurrah. Kind of got the poster over on the big greenhouse, the next greenhouse, but that's about it. There's all my young trees. These are all my 5 gallons that I growed. They're all done, as you can see. The leaves have fell off. We've had a couple light frost over the last 5-6 days, 7 days, last week or so, and that's what we got right now. If anybody's wanting to buy some bare root 5 gallon, I've got a lot of different varieties. I'm going to thin some of these down that I got extra I don't need. So you just reach out to me, about $20 a pop plus shipping, and we'll just pop them out of here and ship them to you. Thanks for watching. Alright, it's November 5th, and this is pretty much presumably what you would say is left of my trees from the killback we had in October. We had a couple nights at 25 degrees, and I don't have no heat in here, and it killed them back. Now, ironically, my mother, who lives 2 miles south of me, has trees outside, and she's still picking fruit off hers. They're right up against the house, and it didn't even faze them. These were in a closed up greenhouse. You can see it pretty much. Killed the tops of them back pretty good, all of them. I went through, I gave them some time to see what was dead, and you can tell what's dead and what wasn't dead. And I trimmed them all back. You can, some took, it's honestly, what was hardened off good seemed to do good, because you see these trees here were this big when I put them in the ground almost. So pretty much all of this year's growth I lost. I'm gonna have to probably, when I take cuttings, that in there still might be alive. Let's pop it and see. I don't know. I'll have to go through it and see. I'll probably have to do a little bit more trimming. Like that there, I can tell it's died all the way back. This is all dead. No, I may not even have a whole lot of cuttings at all this year. Now that in there's okay. It's still alive, that bud's still alive. Yeah, that one's smoked. That's Smith. This is dead up here, look at that. Violets that pour. Looks like that tip's dead. Still alive right there though. Spores of soaked grease. There's a good bud there. Now, this is White Madeira #1. Look, it's got a little bit growing. Which I still got to come through and trim these back to the wire. That's Turca from Ponds. Delson Ron took it pretty good. Violet Sapor, or Violet de Solis, took it pretty decent. It just tip died. Zafiro didn't do too bad. What is that? I don't even know. I have to find the tag. Can't remember now. Dell's Ermitons. Took me a minute. It's okay. There's a good bud. That's YOLO bypass. I don't know. This all might be dead back to here. That bud there's smoked. That was Calodon gigantina. I'm telling you, it can't take much. Red, super red hybrant, red trim, Brazilian XP. Smith Grinska green Miscarinska. CDA. Verdino del Nord. It might be dead all the way back down a little further. I'll know when I take cuttings, I'll be able to tell. I cut off what it looked dead the first round. That's Calderdom Nori. This is Gutati. That don't look very good. That looks like it's dead. Nori, Calderdom Nori. I don't know. We'll see. I want to bet it's top of it's dead. We'll probably just cut it back. I doubt we'll get any cuttings at all out of here. Might be a few, unfortunately. Now I know next year it's going to have the heat on in the fall to kind of let these things go dormant a little quicker or a little slower, because we had about 3 days like that, and since then it's been in the 40s. I could have just left it open and it would have went to sleep a lot easier, hardened off a lot easier. So definitely here in a 6B, 7A border climate, you're going to need heat in the fall, just so that you can finish your seasoning out and get your trees hardened off, and you can control this dieback and cutting situation, because a couple nights and bam, in a greenhouse even, that's what it does. So this is an experimental learning lesson for me and everybody else that's watching. So I'll when I do the cuttings and cover this up, I'll make another video and show what that looks like. Have a good one. All right, November 15th. I've got all my trees pruned back. We had a sudden cold, real bad cold snap, but so here's how this works. This is Delson Wamiron. It's got a little cold damage right here. All of them had some cold damage from our cold spell. I think it's important you really need to de-leaf your trees in this climate here, because if it's going to get down below about 28, you could get some damage in here still. I did, because my trees were still not hardened off or green. Some of them still even had figs on them. So it's I think it's good to have some heat so you can go a little further. If nothing else, just to harden the trees off. But this is how I'm protecting them, and that's why I cut them off. So you can see that there's got some, I believe that there's damaged. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not, but possibly. Some of them took the weather better than others. Let's see here. I was looking for this is I don't know what that is. Probably Bordeaux Negra Ramada. But I didn't have no limbs on it. I had to cut it back to a stump. So there's one that's got some limbs still on it. You see, it's perfectly fine. So that's Valla de Solis. But that's how I winter mine over. And I also put that there out underneath my blanket. Help control my mice. And just for a little more insurance, I put that down in here too. Help keep critters away of all sorts. My dog also hangs out in here. She sticks her nose underneath that and comes right underneath this. Even if I tie it down, she'll do that, come in. So, but That's how I protect my trees in the winter here. I just cover them up with a blanket and they're low. That seems to be good enough. Thanks for watching. February 19th, 23. Dead. Now, most of my trees, I'm pretty sure, this one here has it. I see some green there. Maybe. May still be alive. I had a real bad 25-degree night, October 15th. I have a video of it. That pretty much killed my trees all the way back because they were all leafed out. You see this one here. Now, I had them covered with these. It ain't been cold enough to have killed them. The ground hasn't been froze underneath there. But I've been out here on the coldest mornings and checked. Some of these may be okay. Some of them may not be. That don't look too good either. That there's not. You can tell if it's busted like that. Yeah, it's dead all the way back. We don't have no super cold weather for the next 14 days. It's going to be above freezing at night. That'll get us into March. So I've uncovered and watered everything in pretty good. I probably ought to uncover this at least right around the base of the tree to help get the trees woke up quicker. If we have a cold night, I will just put my blankets back over them and cover them up. They should be fine because we're not going to have anything that's going to be below 20. And it's going to warm up most likely during the day. I'm not saying we couldn't have a foot of snow twice between now and spring, because we sure could. But the next 14 days looks good. So I'm going to risk it. I do that. So I'm going to start waking things up here, but you can see that one's definitely dead back to there, and it's already trying to put on a little bud. So look, that in there does too. So yeah, I'm probably going to go around and scrape this back like that, kind of make an island in here so that ground can warm up real close and these things can get to waking up. No heat. I am going to get to working on it. I don't know if I'll get it in. I'm getting ready to dig some of these up. I've got 6 I'm going to dig up that, well, they was just, I had some that didn't ripen before October 15th. The whole tree was full. And they had a head start in heated greenhouse the 1st of March. So, they didn't ripen. So I'm going to take them out. There's no point in trying to produce something that won't work. We're going to leave them in pots because they are some good varieties. We'll leave them in pots just to have that variety and get a few figs off of it for ourselves. But as far as production figs to sell, they're not going to cut it. So I'm hoping these bigger stumps things will come on back out and they'll go to growing, and hopefully we'll get some fruit out of here this year. We'll see. But when your trees have leaves and you have a cold spell, you've got to protect them. That's all I can say. You've got to turn the heat on. You've got to have a heat source in that fall to keep this here from happening and killing your trees back And then, because, you know, we had that cold spell October 15th, and then we never really had no more cold weather until early December. So I could have left the doors open at night and knocked them all back and put them to sleep a little slower than what happened there. And then they're a lot more hardier when you do that and you don't have this problem. So this was my mistake. But they'll grow back. It's no big deal. So we'll see where it goes to from here. This is how you learn. Thanks for watching.